Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy World Kidney Day. Hey, I got something special for you today. Our good friend Gwendolyn Westlund is here with us today. She is a cancer survivor, a blood recipient, a heart transplant patient, a recycled life warrior, a kidney transplant candidate, and a speaker and an advocate, and one of my heroes. I'm so honored to have her on to talk with us today. So let's talk a little bit about my friend Gwen. Gwen's journey began back in 2002 when she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma at the age of 21. She was successfully treated with radiation therapy, sending her cancer into remission a year after her diagnosis. This was just the start of a long list of health issues for Gwen. 5 years after the radiation for cancer, she learned that the same radiation had scarred her heart. Quote, after a 2-week hospital stay with double lung pneumonia, I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure due to mitral valve prolapse. I managed to keep my heart problems in check over the next 5 years by maintaining a healthy diet and taking my prescribed medications. Unquote. By May of 2013, Gwen went into end-stage heart failure. She felt very ill and was taken to Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn, where she had numerous surgeries, blood transfusions, eventually receiving both a left ventricle assist device and a temporary external right ventricle assist device. And after being sedated for 8 days, she was told that she would need a new heart and had been placed on the heart transplant waiting list. After a 2-month stay and 3 months waiting at home, she received her heart call in October of 2013 that a heart had been found. The heart transplant surgery was successfully done at Advocate Aurora Heart Institute. Gwen's health issues, unfortunately, did not end there. During that 3-month stay in 2019, her body endured a lot of trauma, and the immunosuppressive medications that she took caused her kidneys to fail in March of 2019. After 3 rounds of pneumonia that year and undergoing treatment, she suffered an acute kidney injury. Without any warning, she was placed on dialysis, and she currently has been on dialysis for 3 years. She is currently listed for a kidney transplant at Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn, Illinois. The kidney transplant office is 708 684 7100. That's 708 684 7100. Tell them you'd like to schedule an appointment for a donor talk for Gwendolyn Westlund. What we would ask that you do is that you would share this broadcast. Don't just share it on your kidney pages and to your kidney groups. Share it on your personal page too. We're looking for people that don't have kidney problems, man. So, we want to get Gwen a donor. You can also look in the comments, her post and her request for a kidney. The link is in the comments, and she is actively seeking a living donor. So we're trying to find somebody that's alive, folks. So we want to help Gwen out. In her own words, I'm particularly looking forward to travel. My mom and brother and twin nephews live in North Carolina, and I can't visit. There are also tons of places I'd like to go, nieces and nephews I'd like to make better memories with. So please share, and if you can, consider donating to this generous advocate. Despite all her health issues, Gwen still advocates for all of us, particularly with the gift of hope and the Talent Blood Group. She also walks for various organizations, including the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois and the ACS Relay for Life. Please welcome Gwen Westlund. Gwen, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm really pleased to be talking to you on World Kidney Day.
I
So,
know.
did I
It's a
get
great
everything
day.
halfway right in the introduction, or?
Oh no, you got everything right. I just I don't want to misrepresent. The kidney walk will be my first this year.
Okay.
So,
All
but
right. And
I am signed up to be a volunteer. Whenever they have something coming up, I'm ready to go.
Great. Tell us a little bit about your background, where you grew up, your education, your employment experience, things like that.
Okay. I grew up in Downers Grove for the most part, or various suburbs around Downers Grove. Um, I have 2 years college, um, studied to be an administrative assistant, um, which I didn't really use right away. I was selling cosmetics at Carson Perry Scott, and then I was a freelance makeup artist for a while. Um, then I went on to be a manager at both Nordstrom's and Ulta. Um, and then I finally ended up using my administrative assistant certification. So,
Okay. Talk to us about your experience with Hodgkin's. When did you first notice there was a problem and what led you to seek treatment?
well, I had been complaining to my regular doctor, my family uh, general practitioner, and each one of them, there's a mix of doctors, and each time I'd go in, if I saw a different doctor, I'd mention I'm not feeling right. I get really fatigued. I get dizzy spells. I have, you know, fogginess, and I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. So after they tested me for a bunch of different things, I said, could it be a cancer? They said, "Oh no, we've done scans on you. Nothing's come up, and your work looks fine." Well, my blood work looked fine all the way up until a golf ball sized tumor popped out the side of my neck. So, and then they had, and then they told me that it might just be a swollen lymph node, and said, we'll get you in for a biopsy in, 3 or 4 weeks. Sorry, 3 or 4 weeks if it doesn't go down. And by the next day, my whole neck was swollen up twice the size of my other side. Uh, so I went to the emergency room, and the emergency room doctor looked at me and he's like, "I think you should, calm yourself." That I'm ready. Whatever it is, I'm ready. I just want to know what it is. It's like, "I'm pretty sure it's a lymphoma." He's like, "We're going to schedule for an emergency biopsy tomorrow." Um, so that's what ended up happening. Um,
Okay.
they kind of brushed me off for a number of years, and thank goodness it was only stage 2, because apparently it's a slow moving cancer.
Okay. I understand that you were diagnosed in 2002 at the age of 21. Can you tell us how that came about, please?
Um, well, like I said, the tumor kind of showed itself. Um, so once we knew what it was, we could go ahead with treatment. Um, I actually started treatment the day after my 21st birthday.
Okay. What was the nature of the treatment? How did they handle it?
Radiation therapy, um, no chemo. I had radiation in 2 rounds. One was 8 weeks, one was 6 weeks, and that was 5 days a week. I did not respond to it well at first. Um, all of the side effects they said I might have, I definitely got. Um, I don't think about this a lot.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Um, so yeah, I lost all the hair in the back of my head, and I had severe burns. My skin did not react to it well. Um, I'll tell you more about my sensitive skin later.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how it came about.
Okay. It's my understanding that after the radiation therapy, there was a period of time where you were in remission and didn't have health issues. Can you talk to us about that a little bit, please?
Yeah, it was great. That's when I was doing all my work. Um, yeah, before I had any heart conditions, I was doing makeup artistry and um, was a counter manager at Nordstrom's. It was great. That's what I had always wanted to do was makeup. So,
Okay.
which is funny because now I hardly wear anything.
All right. I understand that the remission period was about 5 years in length, and then some challenges arose. Can you talk to us what happened after that 5 year period?
I had double pneumonia and was in the hospital. I can't even remember how long I was in the hospital that time. I may have stated it somewhere else, but I can't remember offhand.
Okay.
But anyways, while I was in the hospital with this double pneumonia, they were treating me for the pneumonia, and I still said, no, my chest feels so heavy. It feels like someone's sitting on it. They're like, well, that's the pneumonia. And I said, no, it's not where it should be. It feels like it's really sitting on the top of my chest. And I kept going back and forth with them for a couple days, and then finally they called in a cardiologist, and she's like, "Oh my goodness," she's like, "You have prolapsed mitral valve, and you're going into a heart failure stage. We have to get these fluids off of you." Um, so yeah, I actually uh, called in the lead pulmonologist that was on my case, arguing with me um, about the lungs, and basically telling me, I'm the doctor, I know what I'm doing. You need to quiet down and listen to me. And I had to keep saying, no, something else is wrong. And so, once the cardiologist came in and she took over, I told the guy, I said, if I could fire you, I would. You made me feel awful. Um, I've been told I'm a hypochondriac a couple times in my life, and there's always something wrong with me. So I I just learned to get a little bit louder if I need to.
Well, sometimes you have to be your own best advocate, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's another job I'd like to do, patient advocacy in hospitals. That would be a good job for
Well,
me.
you'd be great at that. You would be great at that. I can't think of anybody that'd be too much better than you.
Well, thank you. Put that on
Um,
my list.
okay. It's my understanding that by May of 2013, you
Mhm.
went into end stage heart failure. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? What happened at Advocate Christ?
Well, I started off at Good Sam, Advocate Good Sam, which was my regular hospital. And they quickly determined that their help was beyond my needs. I don't remember being transferred to Christ. They sent me there because it was sent by ambulance. I have no knowledge of it. Um, I was awake a little bit while I was at Good Sam. I remember bits and pieces, but that's all very fuzzy. But when I got to Advocate Christ, um, they put an LVAD in my chest, to my heart, a left ventricular assist device. And then I also had implanted was a central mag or temporary right assist device. Um,
Can you explain what those two devices did for you? What was
Oh,
the purpose?
it, so both of them basically pump your heart on a battery for you. They're assist devices to help your heart pump. Otherwise, you would go into end stage failure, and without a transplant, you would die. So the LVAD was to bridge me to the transplant point.
Okay. You have told us you don't remember some of what happened. I have a note that you were sedated for 8 straight days.
Yes.
Can you tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about that?
I kept having issues. I wasn't doing well after the left ventricular assist device, or the LVAD. Uh, my right side started failing, and I went into cardiac arrest a couple times, and they had to keep opening me back up. So eventually they just sedated me and um, said that I was in too much pain and too much trauma to be awake at that point.
Okay. I understand that you were in the hospital for 2 months,
Hmm.
and then you had another 3 months wait at home.
Yes.
What did you do during that period of time to keep your heart problems in check? How did you manage it?
Well, the LVAD did a lot of the work, but watching what I ate, taking my medications, um, especially for blood pressure and things like that. My blood pressure has gotten much worse as of late, but even in the early days of heart failure, it was not great. So,
Okay. Were there other challenges or issues that occurred during this period of time before October of 2013?
no, I was doing really well with the LVAD. I don't think maybe I had one hospitalization for an infection or something, but I don't remember really any hospital stays in between, just a lot of doctor's appointments.
Okay. Let's talk about October of 2013 and the call. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened there?
Yes. I got the call, and we were driving home from a doctor's appointment, and they said you need to get your go bag and turn around. Um, so I turned around. I sent my husband for my go bag. I was driving with someone else. I think my mom. Um, and I called a couple of people, and the most important people, and I said, don't get excited. There could be several calls before I actually get a heart. You
Okay.
know, they had warned me of that. So I called my family, and honestly, I said, I don't want you to get too excited. Pray for it. Obviously, we want it, but could be a couple times before the real deal. So uh, I wasn't too excited until the middle of the night when they were like, okay, it's good. We're going to go. Yeah, I think, thank goodness I was so excited. I wasn't as nervous as I think I should have been.
Well,
Um,
they do tell you don't get too high. The road to a transplant may be a little bumpy.
yes, yes. So yeah, we found out in the middle of the night, and I want to say it was something like 2 o'clock in the morning. I had sent my husband and my mom home to get some sleep. I said, they told us it might be around, I don't know, 9 o'clock in the morning. And all of a sudden it was moved to 4 o'clock in the morning. So I had to call my mom and my husband, and my husband was charging his phone. It was dead. So, So I'm trying to call my husband in the middle of the night to tell him you have to come. It's go time. And he doesn't have his phone on. So I had to give my mom the garage code, have her go into my house, wake my husband up in the dead of the night. The knocking was not helping. He was out. But in all fairness, everyone had been at the hospital for so long, and everybody worked the day before, and it just no one's had any sleep. So that's why I said, go home and get some sleep. We won't need you for hours. Like, go ahead.
Just for the record, what is your husband's name?
Oh, Bob.
Bob. Okay.
Yeah.
And one thing I can say from looking at your pictures and our correspondence, you have a very, very loyal and great husband. I'm very pleased that he supports you so well.
I do. He's amazing. And he's actually able to work from home now, so he can be here with me in case I need him and when I need him.
Well, that's nice. It's very
Yeah.
nice. Thank you, Bob, for looking after my friend.
He's
Way to
amazing.
go. So we talked about October of 2013. What day is this that they plan on doing this transplant at 4:00 in the morning?
The 25th.
So October 25th, 2013,
Yep.
heart transplant day.
Yep.
Okay. This surgery took place where?
Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn, Illinois.
Okay. And who was the surgeon?
Dr. Pappas and Dr. Tatulis. Those are the two lead surgeons.
Okay. Okay. Since the time of your heart transplant, can you tell us about your heart health? How have you been?
My heart health has been pretty good. I had a couple minor rejections early on, but nothing that they couldn't reverse, obviously. I have had other issues like, illness that normal people could probably shake off, but anything from the flu to pneumonia to I've had pneumonia a lot. Yeah, I do have a tendency to get pneumonia.
Tell us a little bit about that. What goes on with the pneumonia?
I don't know what happens, but I either catch it from somebody or I'm just maybe sitting too long. I need to move more. Um, I'm not over fluid. I don't know what it is. It just seems to find me.
Okay. With your heart issues and your former cancer issues, what is the concern with pneumonia? Can you explain that, please?
Well, I have immunosuppression from the heart transplant. I was already lower immune from my cancer treatments. Um, that basically puts me in jeopardy every time I have anything from a head cold to a paper cut. It's the little things that get you. And unfortunately, I have a tendency to catch whatever's around me, though I'm knocking on wood. God bless, I have not had any COVID. So,
Well, neither one of us want that, boss.
no. Have you had it?
No. In fact,
Good.
just for the record, I'm going in for my 4th shot in April. My transplant center wrote me and said, go in for number 4. And they shortened the interval time period from 6 months to 5 months.
Oh, okay. My team has not told me to get another one yet, but I have had my shot and my booster, of course. It was the Johnson and Johnson's. So as of right now, they just had me to a booster with Moderna. I don't know if they'll send us in for another one or not.
Okay. During the 3-month stay that you had in 2019, it's my understanding your body went through quite a bit of trauma, and the immunosuppressive medications that you took caused a problem in March of 2019. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, it didn't necessarily cause a problem from the immunosuppression meds. I mean, they had already sent me into stage 3 failure, but they said that could last for years from the immunosuppression meds. You know, um, it wasn't a concern that they were looking at necessarily. But when I got hospitalized, I had pneumonia. I had an empyema. I had paralyzed diaphragm. So I wasn't breathing well on my own. And I kept passing out at home. And my husband had to call 911 3 times in a row to come take me to Christ. And when I woke up, I was on dialysis.
Okay. So in other words, your
They just
kidney
failed. I had acute kidney injury due to the trauma of the other things that were going on with my body.
Okay. And when you say you woke up and you were on dialysis, I am taking that was with a heart catheter. Is that correct?
Yes.
At least initially.
Well, I still have a heart catheter. My fistula story is a whole nother mess.
Ooh, wow, that sounds intriguing. What's up with the fistula?
Well, we went in. I knew I didn't have any veins, so it was not a surprise to me when they said they were going to do a graft. It didn't go well. I ended up having to have the wounds reopened so that they could go back in a couple of different times. And I ended up having 6 surgeries in 5 weeks, or 5 surgeries in 6 weeks. I can't remember. 5 and 6 weeks. My husband just walked by. Thank goodness for him. Yes, exactly. Where was I?
You were talking about the
Yeah.
graft.
Yes, the graft. So anyways, it ended up not taking at all. And I have this horrible tube that's, you know how you get that bumpy tube in your arm, but my whole arm swelled up like 3 times the size that it should have been, along with my left breast. And the swelling went down in my arm after about 6 months, but not in my chest. So I have pockets, lymph nodes full of fluid from attempting to do this graft in my arm. And I'm now permanently lopsided, which is,
Oh,
sorry, I'm not trying to be too
no, that's all right.
early in the morning.
It's okay.
But it's, I mean, that's what really happened.
Okay,
And
well, the truth is the truth, man.
and so I need I still use the chest catheter because I wasn't prepared to have another go at another limb.
Yeah, yeah. Have they talked to you about the risks that come with a catheter in your heart? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it is a risk. The catheter does lead to the heart, and there's always a risk of infection or, um, inflammation, things like that that you could potentially have. Primarily, infection is the one that they're really worried about. It is an external, so I have uh, two ports coming out of my chest. Um, so they always make sure we want to clean really well around there. I can't take a shower like a normal person. Um, I have to wash my hair separately and take a bath and make sure this is covered. And um, it's it's frustrating. It's one of those things that'll be better once I get a kidney.
Okay. You've been on dialysis for 3 years now, is that correct?
Yeah,
Right.
3 years in May.
Okay. Where are you taking dialysis? I understand in center.
Yes, I'm taking that out of Fresenius Center in Willowbrook, which is literally right behind where we live.
Okay, so it's close by.
Yes.
Okay.
If
No
I could
issues
walk
with,
farther, I could walk there.
okay. No issues with transportation to dialysis then.
Well, my husband works at home, so he just leaves for 10 minutes to take me and come back and go back to work
Okay.
because it's
And
right behind our back gate. And it's literally 5 minutes away.
all right. And we're still talking about 3 times a week. And I think you said in your case, 3.5 hours
Three and a half
session.
hours. Yeah.
Right. Besides what you told us, have you had any other challenges or complications that accompany your dialysis?
Fatigue, insomnia, um, been getting more frequent headaches. Oh, I don't know if that's because of something else or because of the kidneys. I have itchiness a lot. I do get itchy, even though I take my phosphorus and the level says that it's okay. I don't know.
Okay.
Um, but those are
Um,
my primary issues with it.
all right. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with you seeking a live kidney donor. Why a live donor? Explain to us why you're looking for someone that's living as opposed to a decedent donor.
Well, I was told by my kidney center that, the wait is anywhere from 5 to 10 years. Um, I, I'm backdated from when I started dialysis, thank goodness. So I have technically 3 years on the wait list. Um, I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I was asking you about seeking a living donor as opposed to
Yeah,
seeking.
yes. Um, so they told me that finding a living donor would obviously be the the best solution as to getting a kidney sooner, uh, getting a kidney at all. Not everybody gets one. You know that we lose a couple, what is it, 10 people a day,
Right.
I think is the statistic.
Add it
Uh,
to the list. Yes, ma'am.
so yeah, I don't want to be one of the statistics. So I'm looking for someone who is willing to save my life.
Well, just so
Really
people
what it is.
understand, there are approximately 10 people every day that are added to the waiting list. There are almost 100,000 of us on that waiting list. There are some people that don't make it, that pass away while they're waiting, and that's what you're referring to, the 9 or 10 people every day that pass.
Yes.
Okay. All right. The advantage to getting a living donor, of course, is that you lead a better lifestyle, you live longer, you tend to avoid rejection, those type of things. Am I on
Yeah.
track with that?
Yes. They're definitely telling me that a living donor could give me a longer life. Um, they have a tendency to last longer and have fewer issues. Um, Also, when I have a living donor, uh, it could be a paired donation where we're helping multiple people. It could also be just myself, and still you'll be taking me off the list for someone else to take my place. So, we're kind of bumping up, taking me off and then bumping someone else up on the list.
Okay. Let's talk about a direct donation to you for a moment. What is your blood type, Gwen?
O negative.
O negative.
Mm-hmm.
And if we wanted to donate to Gwen Westlund, we want to make sure we get the kidney to the right Gwen. What is your date of birth?
4/27/1981.
Okay. And you are currently listed at Advocate Medical Center in Oak Lawn, correct?
Advocate Christ Medical Center.
All right. And their number is scrolling on the bottom of the screen. Let's make sure it is, Jim. That would help. There we go. And their phone number there is 708-684-7100, 708-684-7100. If someone's interested in testing for you, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about paired donation for a moment. Let's suppose you have someone that wants to donate to you, but they're not a match for your blood type.
Mm-hmm.
Explain how paired donation works, what you've learned.
I have learned that with paired donation, someone could technically donate for me, but they would be giving their kidney to someone else, and their donor, would be donating to me.
Because they match.
Because they match, correct. So if another paired person has someone who's O negative and they need whatever blood type that someone wants to donate, am I explaining it correctly?
Yes, ma'am. It's a donor swap. In other words,
yes,
someone that doesn't match you may match somebody else.
Right.
They may have a donor that doesn't match them, but matches you. In essence, you swap donors.
Right.
Okay. And just so people understand, an O blood type, we're universal donors. We can donate to anybody, but as far as donating to us, we have to have another O type. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Okay. At Advocate Christ Medical Center, do they recognize a voucher? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know the answer to that question. I just heard about vouchers for the first time the other day talking to Lisa.
Okay.
So I have to find out.
Lisa, who's Lisa?
I'm sorry, Lisa Thompson.
Okay. Is she your transplant coordinator?
No.
Oh, you're talking about Lisa, Leeza. Right, from the National Kidney Registry.
Yes.
My friend Lisa. Oh, all right.
Yes.
She was on our broadcast. Jim, wake up. I know it's early.
Sorry. How else can I describe her?
Okay. Let's explain a little bit so people understand. If you have someone that didn't match, and through the National Kidney Registry, they are working with Advocate Christ. Someone on your behalf could donate to someone else, and they in turn would get a voucher. That would move you up to the top of the list, and the next kidney that came along that matched would be yours.
Okay.
That's the way that works. And we have a friend that was on the broadcast a while back, Shane Blanchard, who is a tough match. He has high antigens.
Okay.
And he had waited a long time to get a transplant. But after a friend of his donated and he got a voucher, he got a call like a week, 10 days later.
Wow.
Where they had a kidney. So, if Lisa's very good at that, and if she's offered to help you, Gwen, I'm recommending you take her up on it.
I have been.
Excellent. Very good. I want to be reading about that kidney transplant real soon.
I hope so.
Okay. Talk to us a little bit about the things you're doing to help you find a kidney donor. What types of things are you up to?
Well, I'm doing shows like yours, podcasts. I'm doing FM radio this weekend. Um, I'm doing Facebook posts and Twitter posts, flyers at friends and families, churches, whatever I can do to get the word out.
Okay, you don't know it, but Uncle Jim put you on TikTok too.
Oh, okay.
So, okay. I know that you have a uh, post that you made for Facebook. I want the folks to know the link to that post is in the comments to this broadcast. It has all of uh, her information, Gwen's information in there. So, please check it out. And you follow your Uncle Jim, you'll find Gwen on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any kind of social media that's out there floating around. I passed this broadcast to in advance, and I will pass it again. So if people missed it because we're early in the morning, you'll
Yeah.
get the instant replay, and you can
Thank
watch
you.
it anytime at your convenience.
Thank you. I so appreciate that.
Well, we're working hard for our good friend and our hero, so we want to make sure she
thank
gets
you
her
so much.
opportunity.
I'm no hero, but you certainly are. The amount of work that you do in the kidney community is astounding. And I just want you to know you have many admirers out there.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Gwen. I appreciate that. So those are the kinds of things that you're doing, trying to find a donor. Let's assume for a minute that you do get your transplant, that you do find a donor.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to us why this is important to you.
Well, number one, I'd get to live, so that's great. Number two, uh, I ask God every night for another day with my husband. He is my biggest fan. He's my rock. He's everything. We don't have any children, so the two of us are very close. As no one else is pulling at our attention. Kids are great. We love kids, but I can't have any. Not with all of the things that I have going on.
Right.
But I love my nieces and nephews. I have tons of them. I have some that are in their 20s, and I have as young as a 1-year-old niece. So my brothers and sisters have provided for me.
Great. You've talked a little bit about travel that I picked up on from the newspaper article. Talk to us a little bit about your desire to travel and what you do.
Well, no, I want to go to North Carolina to visit my mom and my brother and his twin sons. I haven't seen them in a couple of years. I'd also love to go to San Diego. That's my number one destination. I'd love to visit family and friends in Arizona and Boston, and there's 1,000 places I'd like to go. I'd like to go to Hawaii someday if I can. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but I do dream of going back to Disney World. So yeah, we do as much traveling as we could without cords attached.
Nothing quite like getting off that tram in Main Street, hearing the little train whistle blow and smelling the popcorn. And I head straight for the Carnation store and grab some hot fudge.
Nice.
Bad Uncle Jim.
Well, I've only been once, so I'd love to make it a second time in my life. Maybe with my nieces and nephews.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. it's my understanding that despite your issues with your health, despite all the problems that you've talked to us about today, you still managed to advocate for a couple of groups, the Gift of Hope and the Talent Blood Group. Let's talk about the Gift of Hope first. What is that group about, and what do you do for them?
Gift of Hope is the procurement center for organ donation in Illinois and part of Indiana. Basically, they're the ones who get the call that there's organs available. They're the ones who transport them to wherever they need to go. They're the ones who keep records and deal with, donor confidentiality and recipient confidentiality. So they're the ones you would also go through if you wanted to try and contact your donor family.
Okay. You mentioned another group. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Gwen.
No, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, what I would normally do for them is volunteer at a table at an event or something like that. I've spoken a few times, which was nice. And there's not been a lot of in-person opportunities with COVID and what's been going on. Just now, they're starting to do more face-to-face opportunities. So for a while, it was just virtual.
All right. Talk to us about the Talent Blood Group. What is that all about, and what kind of advocacy do you do for them?
Talent Blood Group is also our main blood source in Illinois. They are all over the place in Illinois, so you can donate anywhere. But I do speaking engagements for them. I do blood drives. We're working on a blood drive right now. And I just signed up, so hopefully I'll be trained to help actually volunteer for post-patient, post draws. The person who hands out the cookies and the milk.
Okay, and just so we're clear, the Talent, they're connected with the American Cancer Society. Is that correct?
I don't know.
I think they are.
I don't know, Jim.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I thought I had checked them out and saw that they had a connection. I could be wrong.
They might. If you saw it, they might. I just don't know that offhand.
Old trial lawyers' habits. What can I say? Let's talk about some of the things that you have planned for the future in terms of advocacy. It's my understanding that you want to walk for the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I know every summer they have a walk. This year, I believe it's at a different location, but I know at one point it was at Soldier Field. Whether I'm walking or volunteering at a table, passing out shirts or signing people in, or however I can help, I'll help. But if not, then I'll definitely do the walk, and my husband will walk with me, and we'll try and raise some good money for the foundation.
Okay. And you also want to work with the group, the ACS Relay for Life. This may be the group that I was thinking of earlier. They're affiliated with the American Cancer Society.
That's probably true.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The American Cancer Society, their Relay for Life kind of encompasses all cancers, which I like. I know they have certain walks for lymphoma and they have certain walks for breast cancer, but I really feel like cancer is cancer and should be walking to support all of them. We have a lot of family members who have had cancer. We have a family member who recently passed from cancer. We both have family histories. So, and of course, I had my cancer. So we try and participate whenever we can.
Okay.
I've done it several times before. They were virtual the last couple years. This year, they're undecided on if they're virtual or not.
Okay. Before the broadcast started today, I was talking to you about some concerns that a fellow kidney patient might have with a high antibodies or high antigen levels and kidney transplant that kind of accompanies blood transfusions. Can you talk to us about your situation with that?
I have 0 antibodies. So I'm really in a blessed position because on top of my blood type being harder to find, those antibodies would have made me even a harder match. So this is good news. It's great news.
So no problems with antigens, no problems with antibodies. We're cleared for takeoff as far as transplant is concerned.
We're cleared. I think I have to go to the dentist, but other than that, we're cleared.
Okay. Well, I've been through the dental thing too. So yeah, they check that out. They want to make sure you don't have infections in your teeth.
Yeah.
Okay. Gwen, before I conclude the discussion today, is there anything else that you would like to discuss with us? Is there anything that I skipped or that you think is important that you would like to talk about?
I just want to mention that, obviously we want everybody to be an organ donor. Please register if you're not. And everybody can give blood. So, I think there's a statistic that out of X amount of Americans who can donate blood, only 30% of them do. That's kind of sad. And we're constantly in desperate need of blood. I wouldn't have made it through any of my surgeries without blood. I had a total of 30 units. 30 units is 30 people, basically. So 30 people had to be volunteering to donate blood to save my life. I have a girlfriend who had 60 units. That's a lot of blood. So anyways, just please donate blood. My talents are everywhere across Illinois.
All right. Well, Gwen, I want to thank you for being on the broadcast today. I appreciate you taking time to talk with us. And I just want you to know I'll be sharing this like crazy. So
thank you, Jim. I so much appreciate you having me on.
Okay. You have a good day, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. I can get this to work. All right. So that was our friend Gwendolyn Westlund. Because of National Kidney Month and National Kidney Day, World Kidney Day, I'm doing double duty this week. So tomorrow at our regular time, Friday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, I'm interviewing Stacy Romaldi. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Stacy, I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. Should be a very interesting a broadcast. She has an interesting history too. So, all right, until then, we'll see you.